Hmm? What's going on? We're also seeing Yuji's face here. This is, again, really weird, but damn. I don't know if I said this the last time we saw his face, but he's got a delicious, a good face. Let's go for that. I don't know why I'm trying to come up with different words for good and beautiful. Just fantastic. Delectable is what I was going to say at first, but just for some reason could not come up with it. His face reminds me of of beauty. Alright, now that we're done being gay, in that instant I feel something pulling on me from behind. When I turn back, Sachi's reached out with one hand to grab my sleeve. It also gives us an idea of how tall Sachi is, and she's not that tall. Sachi? I call her name, but there's no immediate response. You have something you want to say? Hmm? In response to my decisive, let's get going, she offers outright resistance. There's no real logic behind her objection. It's a selfish, emotional demand. Nothing more. To hear such words coming from Sachi's mouth is so surprising that I find myself entirely lost for an answer. And even as the silence stretches on, her hand maintains its timid but steady grip on my sleeve. She's literally just pinching the shirt. What the fuck? Sachi. Her face is downcast, her eyes avoiding mine. I can't make out her expression, but I can tell that her cheeks have grown red. Normally speaking, this would be nothing but a cute moment of selfishness, or the sort of thing girlfriends are generally entitled to. But in this case, it represents a serious violation of Sachi's internal rules. I understand what you're saying. So could you let go of me for a second? And she's back. My words finally snap Sachi out of this little reverie, or whatever the fuck that is, and she jerks her hand back as if bitten by a snake. I was right. She's back. Sachi bows in flustered apology, her voice tinged with regret. Judging from her reaction, it's obvious that her behavior right now was a pure spur-of-the-moment reflex. She clearly hadn't seen it coming any more than I had. Okay. I understand that was a slip on your part, but I can't promise you I'll forget that. Tell me something. If you knew it was a bad thing to do, why'd you grab my clothes in the first place? Even so, there's no way you would have said anything like that before. So why now? Why do you think you said that, Sachi? So you haven't quite realized it yet, huh? Not consciously, at least. Okay, Sachi. I want to have a serious conversation. Yeah. If Sachi's ever going to regain what she needs to be whole again, this is where things have to start. This is my chance. Oh, this shit just got good, boys and girls. This is the story I've been wanting to go back to. This is the stuff. Things are gonna get serious here. This is what I live for in these visual novels. Silently steeling myself, I stared directly into Sachi's eyes. Do you remember what I told you on the rooftop? Yeah, I told you I was going to help you be yourself, right? Sachi closes her eyes as if to recall the scene in question. In other words, Sachi, I was saying that right now. You're not yourself.
私が私じゃない。
That's right. Blaming yourself entirely for events from your past. Focus on being a more perfect good girl than anyone else. Never asking for anything, keeping a tight lid on your own thoughts, obeying every order you receive like some kind of robot. That's the person you are today.
じゃあもしかしてゆうくんは
We have to
私
say
に何があ
yes.
ったのかを
We have to tell her we know. Of course. I know about the accident on your birthday, and I know how you've lived since then. Please don't ask how we know this. That said, I'm not going to tell you the path you chose was wrong. Why do you look so surprised?
だって今の私が私でいられていないとしたらそれはいけないことだって言われると思ったから。
Well, from a normal perspective, maybe it would be. But unfortunately, I'm pretty warped myself. I don't want to judge you. I just want you to realize something.
気づいてほしいだけ?
Yeah. In other words, you have to find the answer on your own.
自分で考える。
Why did you make that selfish request just now? What do I want you to realize? And finally, how should you live from now on? This is a formal request. I know full well you can't turn it down. You're a good girl who does what she's told, right? In other words, you're not going to refuse.
それは
That said, I don't care how long it takes you to figure it out. It shouldn't be an unreasonable demand, since there's no deadline.
確かにその通りですが。
So, do you accept?
はい、わかりました。
Thanks. It's a familiar exchange. Since I entered Mihama Academy, I've heard it dozens of times. Faced with a request for help, Sachi nods her head and answers with the words, yes, certainly. The gears shift in her head, and a new task assumes top priority. Secured in the knowledge that my order has taken effect, I once more begin to walk up the beach. On the bus back to Mishima Cape, or wherever the fuck we're going, we sit side by side in silence, gazing out the windows the whole way. It's a slightly unfortunate way to finish the beach date Sachi has been so enthusiastic about, but in exchange, we've taken a crucial step forward. For the first time, the pathological good girl was outright selfish. In return, I offered her 3 cryptic questions, and what's more, she learned that I'm familiar with her past. All of these events undoubtedly caught Sachi by surprise, her head's likely packed full of questions, her mood unsettled and anxious. She's confronting a change in herself that she can't understand, and struggling to decipher the meaning of the problem I've set for her. And in these matters, there's no mathematical formula to apply in order to get a correct solution. No simple cause and effect like pulling a trigger to kill a human being. For that very reason, Sachi has to find the answer herself. To realize what she's overlooking. That's her only chance to regain something like normality. What the fuck, dude? Things really shifted into a serious sense right there. Holy dick. Holy penis. Holy ass. Alright, anyways. In everyday life is like a tower of blocks built by a child. Or we're kind of like into a different section now, which kind of sucks, but I mean, I guess we had our serious moment there. I feel like in a way we are coming to the end of this route because I don't know how it's going to end. I really don't. Is Sachi gonna, like, regain herself? Or is she gonna self-destruct and kill literally everyone? I don't know. In other words, a random assortment of materials in all sizes, shapes, and kinds thrown together why did I get a Steam message? Haphazardly, whatever that word is, into a structure that just barely manages to stay balanced. When even a single block starts to tremble, the whole tower will begin to teeter dangerously, placing especially heavy stress on the pieces closest to the disturbance. And the more crucial that block is to the stability of the whole, the more severe the disruption.
どうしよう、あまね。デイブ教授とマグロマンのフィギュアで遊んでたら、デイブ教授の腕がもげてしまったのよ。
I know, like, everything we were talking in the beginning was kind of like a metaphor or something that just leads up to the story. But because it was talking about blocks, what I had pictured in my head was Machina. But I wasn't exactly expecting, like, Machina to be playing with something such as blocks, but I guess she's playing with figures. Close enough.
もげたってどんな遊び方したらそんな風になるのよ。
一種格闘技戦マグロマンにアルゼンチンバックブリーカーかけようとしたらデイブの腕がうまく曲がらなくて。
まあそうなったら瞬間接着剤でくっつけるしかないんだろうけど、今持ってたかな。
I know. Let's go see Sachi.
ないの？ダメなの？デイブ石腕になっちゃうの？
それは大丈夫。私が持ってなくてもきっとさっちゃんが。ってそっか。
Wait, what? Amane stops halfway through her sentence with a glance toward the window, where Sachi stands in full maid uniform, gazing vacantly out at the scenery. After returning from our date 3 days ago, the girl has been constantly looking off into the distance with the dazed demeanor of some grizzled old soldier who's just discovered the war ended 5 years ago.
おはようさっちゃん。今日はいい天気ね。
And that's how you start a conversation.
はい。今日の三島崎の天気は晴れのち曇りで、降水確率は 20% だそうです。
Well, there's our weather forecast.
そっか。じゃあお布団干しちゃった方がいいかもね。ついでに大根やアジなんかも干してみるのもいいかもしれませんね。
Well, she's definitely different.
そうね。
Sounding different, at least. That said, she still answers when you talk to her directly, if a bit oddly. Apparently, she's just lost in thought. The first of the others to realize Sachi's abnormal condition was Michiru, understandably enough considering she's dependent on the girl's help for a good third of her daily routine. But her vague report that Sachi's acting kinda weird spread throughout our small dormitory in the blink of an eye. And after 3 straight days of this odd behavior, everyone's obviously begun to treat their communal maid a little gingerly, generally refraining from their normal barrage of requests.
やっぱりコンビニまで買いに行こっか。
サッチンなら絶対持ってるって分かってるのに外まで買いに行くのはめんどくさいのよさ。
Okay, kid. I've got your glue right here. Stopping the pair just as they're making their way toward the front door, I hold up a small tube of super glue.
ユージ。
さすがお兄ちゃん。伊達にサッチンの彼氏をやってないのよさ。
Okay, kid. While we're at it, I'll reattach Professor Dave's arm for you.
ほんと？いいの？
Yeah, I'm no surgeon, but I've got experience suturing, okay, whatever that means. Level 2 I don't know what the hell that word is. Lacerations? Leave it to me.
縫合の経験がどう役に立つのかわかんねえけど、すげえ説得力な。
I provide the glue they needed, and even reattach the good professor's arm. Normally, this would be a satisfactory resolution to the matter, but Amane seems disinclined to give me a pat on the back. Of course, I did give everyone a rough explanation once they noticed Sachi's strange behavior, but since I deliberately stayed vague on the details, it seems I haven't quite convinced them to passively sit on their hands. Got something to say? I'll listen.
言いたいことっていうか、ユージはこれからどうするつもりなの？
Didn't I already explain this? Until Sachi finds the answer on her own, I'm gonna stand by and watch over her.
でもそれじゃあ一生答えが出ないってこともあるわけでしょ？
It shouldn't take her like entire life. Can't deny the possibility exists.
それにさっちゃんがずっとあんな感じだといろいろと問題も出てくるし。
Such as? Like what specifically?
みちるがカップラーメンしか食べなくなる。
昨日はお気に入りの服を洗濯機に破かれたって騒いでたのよさ。
Well, that bitch needs to learn how to take care of herself. I see. So first of all, Michiru's gonna hit a lifestyle crisis.
言い換えればさっちゃんの頑張りはそれだけみんなの生活を支えてたってことでしょ？
Why are you all depending on her like that? Can't deny Amane has a point. Apart from looking after the care and feeding of Michiru, Sachi's been more or less single-handedly maintaining the facilities of the school. In terms of her duties, she's less a class rep and more of a diligent janitor. With no one playing that role, it's all too clear that the campus as a whole will soon be experiencing all sorts of difficulties. Understood. I'll take over the miscellaneous duties she's normally been taking care of.
でもそれで私たちが困らなくなったとしてもさっちゃんがあのままなのは変わらないわけよね。
Well, probably not.
せっかく有事の彼女が板についてきて最近は嬉しそうにしてることも多くなってきたのに。
Oh yeah, she was, definitely.
あんな風に考え込んじゃってるところを見せられちゃうとね。
一番の友達と自負している私としても元気のないサチンを見てるのは心苦しいのよさ。
Yeah, it is. It sucks, but we gotta end it right there, regardless. So we'll save it here. I'm out of time. We are on Get Rid of the Test. And already that sounds like I may have given away too much information early on, but then again, I might be wrong. I don't know. So we'll see what Get Rid of the Test means, and hopefully I didn't fuck up in this playthrough by accidentally spoiling things, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this session. I know I did. The first part was kind of meh. The second part was definitely pretty awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time in the Fruit of Grisaia.